I'm sure we all remember the slogan of Nokia, connecting people, and that's what we are going to talk about in our next session. Joining us today, Eva Marchewka, Nokia, Director of Department. And we want to talk about inclusive recruitment, how to hire and retain female talents, broaden perspective. Hello, Eva, first of all. Good afternoon.
Hello. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to some.
Yes,
I'm very happy to
across
be here
across time zones,
across,
and it's
yes,
great to
across
have you
time
with
zones.
us. We've talked about setting aspirational goals in recruitment, increasing the proportion of women working in companies, and also different underrepresented groups. What would be the very first thing that comes to your mind when you go through the agenda of a conference like today, and when you think about this topic in your experience, Eva?
You mean about inclusive recruitment? What
Yes.
is the first topic that comes into my mind? I will sound a little bit maybe R&D, but increasing the pipeline. This is the first thing that comes into my mind. Having a good flow of a very diverse and unique candidates. This is the top of things on my to-do list when I'm thinking about inclusive recruitment.
Eva, I have to tell you something. Years ago, when I was in the corporate sector, I heard this phrase for the first time, and that is pipeline or headcount, another HR term for references for recruitment, obviously. So whenever you hear references to pipeline of talents, I don't know about you, but after a session about inclusive language, you want to tread carefully with metaphors like that, I suppose.
Okay, the point taken. Point taken.
How do you understand cognitive diversity, and what does it have to do with encouraging women to work at Nokia?
Cognitive diversity is a very interesting and very broad term that I personally really enjoy using and talking to people about. Cognitive diversity is diversity of the backgrounds. It's not only about gender, it's not only about culture, it's not only about age, it's about all of the above. It's about how people think, what backgrounds, what things people can bring to the company. If we have teams of consisting of people coming with different experiences, we have truly diverse team with a lot of cognitive diversity.
Anything else you would like to add in this context of your experience in the company setting?
So cognitive diversity is a way to create teams in Nokia. This is how we try to go with our teams. We are putting our focus on different experiences within the team, not maybe different roles within the team, but different experiences. This
Speaking
is
of
why, yeah,
Okay,
okay.
speaking of experiences, can I ask you, because one of the points you made earlier in the conversation as we were preparing for this session was the differences in how women and men respond to job adverts. Can you comment on that?
Oh, yes, this is a very interesting topic. This can be somehow derived from numerous research and also research that was done within Nokia, within our team. If you would check applications when you are recruiting someone, usually women try to apply when they fulfill 100% of the requirements for this application, and men tend to apply if they are fulfilling around 60%. Women think that they need to be perfect to apply, while men statistically give it a try, even if they are not 100% sure they qualify.
And what is your motivation? Because apparently there are benefits of your efforts to encourage women to work at Nokia, but what is your motivation to increase the proportion of women working at Nokia?
Oh, this is a very good question, because many times when we are talking about diversity and a need of the teams to be diverse, we forget about the why. I've heard that there is also a why when it comes to inclusive communication, but there is also a very important why when it comes to the cognitive diversity. Cognitive diversity and diversity in general increases performance of the teams. This is fact. You can check researches online and verify it. Having diverse teams, we get more creativity from the teams. We get more better performance of a team. Higher performance of the team that is coming from first cognitive diversity that is giving you many fresh and out of the box ideas, higher performance that is coming from the higher social sensitivity of the team. Social sensitivity is a way, is ability to understand how the people within the team are feeling. So this higher social sensitivity is usually attributed to women. So if you have a cognitive diverse team, and within this diverse team you
And
have
rightly
more,
so, by the
yeah,
way. And
yeah,
rightly
and
so,
rightly
by the way.
so. Yes, rightly so. If you have a team that is socially sensitive, you will be able to use full team performance because you will be able to encourage all the team members, even those that are shy, are not feeling like talking, to contribute. At the same time, people with higher social sensitivity are able to a little bit tone down the stars that you have within the team. If you have one or two or three people that jeopardize and hijack the meeting, social sensitive and diverse team will make sure that they will not overwhelm others. So those are the benefits from having diverse teams. Higher performance of the team, higher social sensitivity leading to using full team's performance, and one of my favorites, higher collective intelligence of the team. Higher collective intelligence of a teams means that team that is diverse is able to solve cognitive tasks faster and with better results. So those three things I would like to highlight.
Yet we're rarely in this luxury situation where we can build a team from scratch and have a decision-making power on who do we hire. And there's
Instead of dealing with consequences of some random activity.
exactly. And there is a very good question coming from Maria. What do you recommend the best way to make the screening phase unbiased? The screening phase in the recruitment process, we assume.
The screening, I understand that in this question we are assuming that we have an ability to hire. So
correct.
Okay.
So how do we reduce the bias in the screening process?
And at
Okay.
the same
This
time,
is- yeah.
employ women deliberately and more proportionately to
Oh,
men.
this one you added to it.
Yeah, of course I did.
So there are many techniques, and I could go on for hours. But the first and the most important thing that I would recommend is to have a mindful leader doing the recruitment. Mindful leader that understands the benefits of diversity within a team. A mindful leader that is aware of his or her own biases will be super important and useful in that kind of recruitment. If we cannot ensure that the mindful leader is doing the recruitment, then there are techniques like blind recruitment that we sometimes do, which means that you are just getting a CV for the first screening without putting exactly the name of the person that is being recruited, and you are just judging based on the content of the CV instead of some bias that you might have on a gender or culture, because bias can be also based on where the person is coming from, right?
We have two more equally interesting questions and only a minute left, so let's give them a try. Barbara is asking, neurodiverse candidates, how to do interviews with them that what works, or how not to do interviews with them at what works?
Oh, this is also a very interesting topic because when we are talking about diversity, we forget about neurodiversity, and this can be an asset too, if you have a mindful leader, of course. So again, mindful leader that is aware about diverse person. We need to be honest here. Some may be limitation, but also some advantages of a neurodiverse person is the way to go. And this person, this hiring manager or a hiring person should be aware of it, should be trained, and should understand again the benefits of hiring people like that.
And we have got 2 more questions and no time left whatsoever, 7 seconds. So I will just read them because they're interesting. And maybe if you could make a sentence or 2 by way of comment, please. Alexandra is asking, diverse teams are typically performing better only if they are well managed. How do you prepare your managers to handle diverse perspectives or approaches and ensure effectiveness at the same time? So that's one. Camille is asking, are there measures of sensitives, collective intelligence, etc.? Sometimes it's easy to talk about, but hard to show facts for the managing board.
Okay, so it's really hard to summarize this in 1 or 2 sentences.
Sure.
So for the sensitivity and how to measure it, yes, there are techniques to measure it. There are tests how to measure. There is also research that is showing how social sensitivity correlates with team performance. So this can be done. And sorry, can you remind me the first question?
Yes.
How to prepare
yes.
managers
How
for
do you prepare
managing?
managers to manage and ensure effectiveness also?
Leading by example. If I am only to say one sentence, leading by example, show how you are doing things, show how you are embracing the diversity, how you preach cognitive diversity within your own team, your managers will follow.
Eva, it's been an absolute pleasure to have you join us today. I should also thank you for waiting patiently for your session due to the different shuffles that we are performing here. So thank you once more. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Thank you for
Thank
being
you.
with us.
Thank you very much.